Hi, my name is Janeta Jane. I'm a kinesiologist and I'm a healer and teacher of many different healing modalities. I'm gathered here today with all of you. I thank you for coming. This workshop is called Healing for World Peace. We're meeting here at Earthdance, celebrating the International Day of Peace, which is celebrated in hundreds of cities around the world. Right now especially, this is an extremely crucial time to come together and gather around these ideas around healing, because our Earth is in peril. We're like a number of passengers on the Titanic heading for disaster, and unless we are able to solve many of the problems facing us now, we could end up in great peril and possibly not survive the next decade or two. So I'm going to bring this together to talk about what do we do about that? How can we bring that together? I'm going to be linking science and spirituality, and I'm also going to be looking at individual healing. I'm going to be looking at addictions and the role that these play, and I'm going to be looking at what we can do as individuals to start right now in the moment. First of all, I'd like to link together science and spirituality in the way that that quantum physics is now discovering. Originally, at the time of the Big Bang, there was a bit of universe possibly the size of a pea, and with that hundreds of billions of pounds of force, it exploded. And as those bits of energy moved out into the universe, they were all entangled and held together. And that was the beginning of our existence, of the existence of everything, even though it had a start before that. In a way, all those energetic lines that started at the time of the Big Bang are still connected. That is how consciousness began. That is how and why we are all still connected. And what scientists are discovering now is that inside of space, inside the atom, inside what they used to think was emptiness, it is not empty. There is consciousness there. There is a something that links everything together, and we are a part of that. Ourselves, all of nature, as well as the entire universe, we're all a part of that. And as such, we can make a difference because we are all linked in this movement. It starts with healing ourselves. If we go out impassioned or embroiled around a global issue that's going on, wanting to make a difference, that is wonderful, and that is helpful. But if we go with anger, and if we go full of triggers because we have all these unhealed aspects of our being, we're not going to make the difference that we could. In fact, we could make it worse. We could make it worse because we could be bringing anger. We could be bringing attitudes of judgment, attitudes of separation, of us versus them, when in fact we're all one. We're all truly united. And even though we may have differences of belief and differences of religion and differences in many aspects, the answer to this is definitely understanding that we have far more in common than we have apart. The people that are running the world, the people that are in global power, they are addicted to power. There are addictions to power as much as there are addictions to the broken heart. The addictions to power manifest in workaholism, perfectionism, needing to be right, being judgmental, exercise compulsively, any compulsive addiction that carries on. The exercises or the compulsions and the addictions of the broken heart, on the other hand, are those that are more related to substance abuse. They are often compulsive eating, they are drug addiction, they are alcohol addiction, and often sex addiction as well. And these addictions are meant to heal the craving, to bring relief. But addictions all start with pain and end with pain, and they are never the cure. The cure is in staying in the present moment and becoming available to our feelings. And I would like to get someone from the audience to come up and to talk, not to talk to us. I'd like to see if I can get a volunteer to do an experiment here. And what that will be is I will be asking them to go into a feeling, to go into a thought, to go into a recent issue. And I'll be helping them to move through that in a way that follows the feeling, allowing the feelings to transform themselves rather than our usual techniques of distraction, of eating, of getting busy, of blaming, of turning the television on. The lists go on and on and on. But we are not going to do our global healing until we are able to go into our own pain and heal that first. That is how we can become the most powerful to move on. So I think I may have had someone that might be willing to do this for me. That's great. Now, are you okay to be filmed for this?
Sure.
Okay. That's great, Jaya. Awesome. Come on up. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So what I would like you to do is just to take a couple of deep breaths and relax. And actually keeping your eyes closed for this process, for most of it, would be really great. Now, I want you to think about a recent incident or a thought, a loss, something that has happened in the last while that's bothering you. Something that you are aware of that you're not feeling really good about. And I want you to think about it and go into your body. And then I want to just check in with you and ask you, how does your body feel? To go into your body and concentrate on how this feeling or this emotion is manifesting in your body. Are you aware of any sensations?
Yeah.
Where are you feeling it?
Feeling like I'm pulling in energy, like right here on the left side under my solar plexus.
So a pulling in energy on the left side under your solar plexus. This is the area of our power chakra, our third chakra. And often we're affected in this area when we feel we're losing power in an area. It's often related to struggles with the world, struggles with the collective, struggles with the planet, struggles with work, or struggles with other people. That is the third chakra. So I want you to describe to me how that feeling feels, as much as you can, that tightness under your solar plexus. Breathe into it and see if you can describe to me sensations, colors, images.
It's got like a distinctive corkscrew energy, almost like it's being pulled from behind. Like it's got a corkscrew. It's like pulling it in a circular in this way. And it's not centered. It's more off to this side. Not really getting a firm sense of color. But it's, it feels off center. It feels like it's like I'm reestablishing equilibrium.
Okay. So Jaya has spoken about corkscrew, spinning kind of energy that's pulling in to one side of his solar plexus under his ribs. And Jaya, I'll ask you now to breathe into that feeling, expand it out into the area around us, expand it out into this part. As you breathe into it and see it expanding, does it change?
Yeah.
When we have intense emotions, if we can breathe into them and expand them out into the room around us, the pressure can dissipate, allowing us to move into that feeling more and allowing that feeling to move on. Is it feeling any different now?
Yeah, it feels like it kind of like expanded to a big golden disc all the way around me, but there's still like something in this quadrant of it. It's not quite like there's a hole in the continuum right in this quadrant.
So how does this quadrant feel in your body? The ego wants to, or the thoughts will want to take us out of the sensation by describing them in words rather than in sensation, but the healing comes by sticking to the feeling, by sticking to the sensation. So what I want you to do is really ask yourself, how does this energy feel in my body? Any colors or sensations, or
it feels like fluttery and like everything is like a bright yellowish gold, but there's this like dark discordant brownness, brown and mucky sort of feeling. Like the colors are not pure there, but everywhere else they are.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a golden field around this feeling, but there's a dark, mucky brown energy that's still there. So Jaya, I'll ask you to breathe into the dark, brown, muddy sensation. Are you still aware of the feeling? Sometimes what happens is, as we try to follow a feeling, we can go numb, or the feeling may dissipate. So what I ask you to do is to come back to the room, come back right now to where you are. You can open your eyes and look at me for a moment. And then what I would like you to do is close your eyes again and come back right now to how you're feeling at this present moment, not how you were feeling again at that time. And if you like, bring back the thought, bring back the initial thing that was bothering you in the beginning, the issue, the pain, and go back into it. And again, follow that sensation in your body. And if you can, describe the sensation right now. No.
This time it feels the opposite. It's like there's something pulling it out from outside, and it's still on the same direction when it's coming out this way. But it feels like fluttery, but more relaxed than it was feeling when it was pulling in, like a tightening sensation. This is more like...
So it's loosening, it sounds like it is loosening up a bit as he's come back into the sensation. It's fluttering, it's more flowing, it's more movable, which is very powerful. That means the feeling is starting to transform. what I want you to do is continue to breathe into that, to stay present, focus all your attention on there. Let me know if your mind starts talking to you to take you out, if anything comes to distract you, because these are very powerful, common human egoic things that we do to distract us from pain. Or if you can, just stay present and describe it.
Well, what I'm feeling is that now that there is actually a current coming up from just in front of my left heel, going straight up, kind of like a serpent. It feels like it's feeding that pulling energy, and it feels like it's less fluttery and more clear now. It's not feeling as dark and as dense, but it's literally, I can feel right in front of my left heel where the energy is coming out and going straight to that spot.
So how does that energy that is coming up from your heel and moving into your body, how does it feel in your body? What are the sensations or colors associated with it?
My first instinct is to say red, although I don't see red, I just sort of like feel red. And then like a turquoise color.
Beautiful. So a turquoise color and a red color. And stay present. Now, is this feeling more comfortable to sit with? That's awesome. Now at this point, I'm going to thank you for your time and sharing with me this. This is a beautiful example of how we stay present to feelings to be able to help transform them rather than moving into obsessive, compulsive, addictive activity or anger or other feelings. Anger is okay. Any of these emotions are perfect, as long as we can stay in them and follow them and be present for them. That is how we heal. Thank you very much for coming up to this. I want to talk right now, following on that, and thank you for sharing that. That was great. I want to talk a little bit about our triggers and why we get triggered and what that is all about. Our triggers are truly our treasures. Our triggers are areas that we have been wounded, usually in childhood, but sometimes later on in life. And these are a gift. The reason they're a gift is because every time we get triggered, that is a reminder that we need to come back right now to this present moment and be present. And by doing so, we are able to free ourselves. So when we get triggered, if we can, take some time to get alone, to be with yourself. Close your eyes and ask yourself, when did I last feel this way? And then remember, and try to remember the details around that. You can ask yourself, what were my thoughts just before I got triggered? What was the incident? And what were the thoughts I had about it? And then we can ask ourselves, when do I first remember feeling this way? And close our eyes and breathe. And stay present with that feeling and with the thoughts. Do the process I just did with Jaya. This is a presentation about Gaia, so I've had Gaia a lot on my mind there. So it's so important to be able to stay present and to ask ourselves, when do I first remember feeling this way? Because that is often a key to transforming our earliest memories. Now, sometimes a memory will not come, but a sensation may come, or a feeling. This is huge because often before the age of 6 or 7 or 8, We are living in our feeling world. We don't have words to put to them. So if this is an injury from when we're really young, often it will just come up in a sensation. And the key to healing that is to be present with the sensation and just breathe into it, as Jaya and I did in that earlier presentation. The first chakra is all about family, about tribe. It's about our beginnings. It's about our early childhood and what happened and how that affected us growing up. When we're triggered in this area, it's often tribe, it's family, it's religion, it's sets of beliefs that we feel are okay, that jive with the tribe. So it's things like, well, if I have a lot of money, then my family will think I'm great. If I don't have a lot of money, then my family won't. So we can feel some wounding in this area. And if we can't heal these beliefs and these thoughts, this can manifest in diseases in this area. So anything in this area could be affected, the first chakra area. So it's so important to eventually feel these feelings and move through them and detach from our tribal beliefs, and instead find out, what do I as a person truly believe in? What is my path? What is my dream? What is my purpose? Having nothing to do with my family or tribe, and starting to follow our own soul, following our authenticity, and the moving to our own drummer. So we will often feel a sensation or even a pain or cramping in this area. Someone who's very caught in this area may actually have endometriosis or constipation or some problem in the lower chakral areas. The second chakra has to do with self-esteem. It has to do with sexuality. It has to do with our relationship with ourselves. And this is huge. This is where we're triggered. Say, for example, I'm on a date with someone and I make them this beautiful meal and they don't like it. I may feel, oh my God, does that affect my safety? Because safety is tribal. That's the first. That's survival, and tribal is still down in the first chakra. So you may feel something in this area. Then you may go to the second chakra, because every single situation and thing that affects us, every thought, every wounding, starts in the first chakra and moves all the way up through all our chakras for transformation. So if we feel, okay, I feel safe, I feel secure, as far as who I am in the world, but man, that affects my sexuality because this person I'm on a date with doesn't like my food. Maybe they're not going to like me. And you might bring it into self-esteem, and you might start feeling like, oh, maybe they don't like me anymore. And all of these things can trigger us and take us. But if we've healed our triggers in these areas, we're able to say, they just don't like it. It's cool. It's no problem. It doesn't touch us anymore. The feelings are neutralized, and we're able to move on past that. Once we get past these areas into the third chakra has to do with the collective. It has to do with the world. We're here in a workshop around global peace. And any kind of healing work that we have to do with the collective will manifest here. Anything to do with work will manifest here. Ulcers, pain in the gut, any kind of feeling in the solar plexus of discomfort, things that Jaya was feeling may well have had to do with the collective or something with the big picture in his life, how he interacts with the world. And these triggers are really important for us to come into and understand, well, what is it? What are my beliefs around the world? What are my beliefs around the collective? And to heal those beliefs so that we are not triggered, but instead feel love and compassion. The reason we do this healing work in the first, second, and third chakras above all is so that we can come into the fourth chakra, into a wide open heart space, into an area of green light, open-hearted healing, so that we can actually bring in the new world. We are changing. Our world is changing. The fear-based world that we used to live in, and that we still have many remnants of it now, does not work. And we will not survive if we continue living in a fear-based world, which is why our personal healing is so important. Which is why we need to heal our addictions, so that we don't keep responding in the same way to get relief, but instead can go